What's up, everyone? Joel from Cornerstone Manufacturing back again with episode 3 of the Rubbermount Sportster Chopper project. I've made some decent progress, actually on the bike, but I've made a lot more progress digitally. Working with the scans, designing the oil bag, mounting brake components, voltage regulator, cutting out miscellaneous stuff, top motor mount, so on and so forth. We're getting really close. I know I said I wanted to have it done by March, like May at the latest. I'm still shooting for May, just so that I'm not rushing things and putting important bits off. I'd rather do it all, completely from the get-go. But I'll just give you a quick look at what we're working with on Fusion, and then I'll give you a quick look of what the bike looks like right now. So here's what we've been working on with all these scans and doodads and whatnots. So you can obviously see I've got the oil tank in its final position there. Got all the fittings where they need to go. Got your return one right there. You got your vent one right there. You got your feed one right there. But this whole left side here will house all of the fluid. And it does hold the correct amount, surprisingly. So I was super happy with that to keep it really sort of isolated and also away from the chain side of the bike, because I didn't want anything chain related to happen and it slap up and hit the bottom of the tank and puncture a hole in it or something like that. That's really the last thing anyone needs. So I wanted to get any of the fluids away from the chain, so that's why I made that side there fluid. On the other side, I'll hide this. You can see down in there now, I've got my battery. This is all going to be my electronics side here. Should have enough room in front of the battery up in this region to stuff all of my electronics. There shouldn't be too much electronically with it. I don't know, ignition control module or something like that, I'm sure. Probably some fuses tucked up in there, but everything will end up working out definitely the way that it needs to, and I'll be hidden and concealed all within the oil bag itself, which is something that I was really aiming for, was to just clean this thing up and make it look as seamless as possible. A lot of older choppers, they're as minimal as they are because they're kickstart. They don't have to have, nearly as many electronics or whatever the case may be. I wanted to really replicate that with this thing. You had heard me mention my brake components. This is the master cylinder here. This is a scan of it. This is just a rough voltage regulator model that I whipped up. And this little brake rod here. But let me put some frame. There we go. You'll notice that the master cylinder is going to sit in between the frame rails. If you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen a little bit of this, so I apologize if this gets old, but I'm really happy with how this came out, and the fact that I was able to tuck the master cylinder in between the frame rails and you can't see any of it. A big part of older Sportsters that I don't like is where the master cylinder is on the outside of the sprocket cover, and sort of an eyesore. It definitely can be. So I wanted to try and eliminate that as much as I possibly could with this bike. So tucking things away like the voltage regulator, stuffing it in between the frame rails. Same thing with the master cylinder and having this little brake crossover tube. It'll all look really cool once it's done. Probably stuff that a lot of people won't notice, but I'll be happy knowing that I did it. So here's it in digital form. Just wanted to give you guys a quick little update on that, and I'll show you now what the bike looks like tangibly. All right, so here it is in the flesh. looks pretty similar to the last update, but that's just mostly because a lot of stuff you don't really see. Got a rear fender. It's okay. If I could have went with like a Cooper smithing or something, I'd have probably gotten a lot better bang for the buck. But considering how much I paid for it, it's not too bad. It's definitely not too good, but that's all right because that's choppers, baby. But yeah, you can see my little master cylinder tucked away up under there. There's a brake rod. Hopefully we'll have this reservoir again, maybe tucked up into the oil bag somewhere, something like that, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, it's all hidden up under there. Voltage regulator up there. It's gonna go up underneath there too. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Ended up getting my intake manifold. You can barely see it in there, but nothing to write home about. Got my carb all mounted up. Got my top motor mount here, cut it out of some 3/8. Probably fit right up in there about like so. But little stuff again. If you followed my Instagram, I was cleaning up the stock clutch some, just trying to clean up the housing and the lever, just trying to smooth it out and get rid of the bulkiness of it, because I didn't really want to run an aftermarket clutch lever because I've personally seen some of them snap. But the OE one's done me well for this long, so we'll see how long it does after grinding away at it for a little bit. A little fender mount here, probably going to go somewhere or something like that. But yeah, this is it right here. Still chugging along, making slow but steady progress on it. Warm weather's coming up quick, so I really got to get on the ball. But thankfully, after the oil bag, not too much of this stuff is really out of reach. Got a few parts to buy, chain swap, ignition, definitely going to go with the Thunderheart again, but you know, it's just little nitpicky things from here on out. As with building any bike, it seems like it's not all that much to do until you really start adding things up and you realize you have a ton of work. But that's just how it goes. So here's a small little update on that. Hopefully I can make some progress maybe next week or so on mounting all the brake components up and the fender and little doodads here and there, just to get it rolling and get that finalization closer and closer, so we can hopefully start ripping this thing up and down the road some. But yeah, as update number 3 for the Rubbermount Sportster project, and we'll see you for episode 4. Peace.